Maybe you can start telling us a little bit how to become a pink unicorn. Yeah, and maybe you are the first one on this perspective, right? Bring the pink unicorn to our conversation today.
Well, you have to be pink, meaning just a way to show that it was led and founded by a woman. And then you have to build a technology-based, very scalable business that resolve an issue that became extremely important as it is how to manage your remote team. As you know, the pandemic sent half the universe to their homes, unfortunately, and many millions of companies around the world were forced to work remotely. So we were on the right place with the right technology. And as I have been working for many years in building an ecosystem of solutions to facilitate the hiring of remote talent and facilitate remote talent, we have a one-of-a-kind opportunity to jump on the market that was suddenly as a big bang open to us and raise capital at $1 billion valuation. I hope that we are the first, but not the last one, that many more come and that we create a new horde of unicorns, especially pink unicorns that come from Latin America.
How is your journey having those connections? How you make this business be what it is today? What are your thoughts on that?
I have been working on technology ever since I was a little young girl, as we discussed previously, that we coincide in one fantastic company many years ago. But when I became an entrepreneur, I had a dream. It was the dream of using technology to level the play field, because I understand that talent is anywhere, universal, but the opportunities sometimes are not geographically located where the talent lives. So developing technology for connecting the dots was one way to hack unemployment. And when it comes to something that is very special for both of us, women economic empowerment, it also gave the opportunity to women to find jobs that can fit into women's life and enable them to work in their own terms with flexibility and also with the ability to choose the opportunity to combine personal life and professional lives.
And do you think that the pandemic that changed all our lives, personal, business side, do you think on that perspective accelerate this change, this acceptance of this technology in the world, and which are the big challenge that you found? And for sure, a lot of opportunities as we became all virtual and remote. Do you think that the timing helped on that perspective on your big dream?
Yes, absolutely, Christina. It was like a big bang explosion. Like suddenly, like from one day to the other, 3.9 billion people were forced to remain at home. And then millions of companies were forced to work remotely. So this allowed the genius to get out of the bottle, and companies suddenly realized that this thing that they believed it couldn't be done, as it was to work remotely, was actually the key for business and government continuity, because this also affects, of course, government. So once they saw that this was possible, then the challenge remained, how do we make it sustainable? Because in the first wave of the pandemic, and no one knew how long it was going to take, it was about. Now the key is, how do we set up an operating system to manage the workforce that is now distributed in an efficient manner? So it also brings a lot of opportunities, because now that we see that we can manage remote teams, we see that we can hire remote talent.
Considering that you mentioned about the possibilities, the contribution, so all this remote work, specific at this time, how do you think that this really impacts women in particular, not just or being talent available, but also offering service? If you can probably put a little bit of a deeper perspective on this beautiful project that you have.
51% of the moms abandon their work because of lack of flexibility. But it's just a huge paradox, because women are the ones that receive the largest number of university degree, both master's, bachelor's degrees, and advanced PhD degrees. So they study more, but sadly, when there comes a point in which they need to choose between a personal life and work, they leave their career behind. And this is just purely because of lack of flexibility. And living in the digital age, it doesn't make much sense. So for them, it can be a massive opportunity to either become an entrepreneur on their own and build their own companies in the cloud with very little investment in terms of infrastructure, because they can have the company in the cloud, run it totally remotely, so they don't need to spend in an office. They can tap onto talent on demand, like in Uber, but with talent that of other women. So they create this precious circle of good in which women are empowering other women to create financial security and through independence, through economic independence.
Being here in Latin America and looking for the challenges, which one you believe are the largest, the biggest challenge that professional women have in Latin America?
I've been working in the voluntary policy committees of President-elect Biden when he was a candidate. And one of the issues that we were working was to make legislation and policy to address the issue of how we support women-led businesses, how we promote that. And this is a challenge also for the region, because it's very hard to compete when you are a woman, usually, as you don't have same access to capital, you run smaller businesses. So if you want to provide services to large companies, it is a challenge because you are competing with giants.
How you see innovation in our region, how we can continue to boost those opportunities and really find new business models, but the way of thinking into innovation in Latin America.
And we need to create ecosystems in which we create a culture of innovation. And the baseline of that is to be much more resistant personally and as a society to failure. Because if you want to innovate, you need to experiment. If you need to experiment, you need to know that you will be failing often, and that doesn't make you a loser. It makes you an innovator. And we will change that perception and we allow ourselves to fail. It's changed completely the dynamic, because it becomes a culture where people feel encouraged to try. It's also important to have companies that are more established, like established leaders in the market, working closely with innovators by supporting them, in some cases with funding, but it's most important than the funding, because money can be accessed with a true partnership, a distribution partnership, in which you can leverage from the credibility of an established company and their channels and their muscles, so you can plug in your solution and test the market and go hand in hand with the leaders.
How you connect your purpose on your professional life, on your personal life. Yes, if you can share this important moment with us.
I love that, Cristina. I think that one of the reasons why we were very successful in growing the company and raising capital is because money was never the top priority for us. It was purpose. It was our vision and how we believe that with technology we can change people's lives, that we can empower women to do what they love and being close to the people they love the most. We are talking a lot about empoderamiento, empowering and things like that, but if we really want to empower women, we need to give them the opportunity to be financially independent.
Thank you so much. The best thing that somebody can give us is time, and your time is very precious to inspire women across the region. So thank you so much. And for sure, we are going to see each other again, really making the difference here in the region. Thank you so much, Silvina.
Thank you, and thank you everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.